Hi guys, good morning and welcome to our tutorial for Game Maker Studio. Last time what we did was we allowed ourselves to use some codes to be able to move around our character using some codes that we added here. But for today, we will be deleting these so that we could create a much more uh, or defined movement in terms of a 2D platformer. So 2D platformers are games that are like Super Mario, Mega Man, those Castlevania. So those are the types of games that are under the 2D platformer category. So this is going to be a much more useful step on how we could be able to make our characters jump. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the room and let's design this a bit with adding in some walls. Sorry. Okay. And I'm gonna be putting in here a few walls. We could actually go ahead and jump on it. Okay, so this is the simple design that we will be using for today. Of course, for our game. So supposedly what will happen is that our character will go down so that it will have its own gravity and it will be able to jump around this sample walls that we do have. So let's go ahead and code this one. Okay, so let's go ahead and add an event and put in a create event. So what this means is that if we create, okay, if the objects gets created or added into the game, this code automatically runs. So let's put in some variables. First is the gravity. The gravity is 0.2. And then we have here an HSP, which means the horizontal speed, which is 0. BSP is equals to 0. And of course, the speed for when we jump will be around 6 pixels in height. And our movement speed will be equivalent to 4. So what's the difference between the horizontal speed and the vertical speed? So it differs because when we do jump, the horizontal up and down will change as it pulls in by the gravity. And we will change this because it could be 0 if we are stepping on a wall. So if we look at the design, if we ever do step on this, it should be 0. But when we are falling down, it should be 0.2. So same thing with the vertical speed. So why is it 0? So it should be 0 when we are colliding with the walls. Okay, but when we are moving freely left and right, we should be able to have some speed. So that is assigned with our move speed, which is going to be 4. Sorry. Move speed, which is going to be 4, and the jump speed that is going to be 6. So all of these variables will be active upon creation of the character. So immediately if the room opens up, these codes will be activated. And every second, the step event will have a code to identify what we are pressing. Okay? So the first is to identify what buttons are pressed. So again, we will be using the left and right for this one, but we don't have a down and up because we will be pressing space for jumping. So first, we have press up, press left, okay, is equals to keyboard underscore check. And then we have BK underscore left. And then press right, of course, is equals to keyboard underscore check. Now remember, these variables are not a constant, but it could be changed. Meaning, if you want to make it as P right and P left to make it much more shorter for you, then that would be okay. So let me go ahead and use this one so that you will not be confused. So let me go ahead and get the value for jumping. So let me go ahead and add the keyboard check for BK underscore space. So the space button will be our button for jumping. So as we all know, if we have pressed any of this left, right, or space, the values of these variables will be changed to 1. Okay? So let's go ahead and create another variable. So our move variable will be all about pressing left plus pressing right. Okay? So why is it addition? So what we need to do on the press left is to add a negative sign before the keyboard check. So this means that if we press left, any values on this will be automatically a negative value. So this will be -1, this will be +1. So if we add those values, then we should be able to get either a negative value for left or a positive value for right. So remember in our drawing before, on this side, we get a negative value, and this side, we have a positive value going to the right and going to the left. Okay, so let me go ahead and set the horizontal speed. Okay, so the horizontal speed that we did have earlier in our create was actually equivalent to 0. So that means that the character is currently not moving as we go on into this code. So currently, if we do play, we will not be moving, but we will apply a horizontal speed. So the move speed multiplied by the value of the move speed. So we have the move variable, so that is could be either +1 or -1 multiplied by 4 because that is the value of our move speed. So remember, if we do press a keyboard left or right, the move gets the value is either positive or negative, and it moves around the HSP. Okay, so let's go ahead and put in the gravity. Okay, so if the vertical speed is less than 10, which is most likely that's the value because initialization says it's going to be 0, then BSP plus equal gravity. Okay, so this means that if the vertical speed, okay, so BSP is less than 10, which is actually, that's the reason why, then it would mean that our character will be going down. So this could be actually also be written like this, so it won't get you too confused. We have that if condition, right? So if the BSP less than 10, then add a gravity on the vertical speed. Okay, so the next thing that we will do is to identify if we actually pressed the space value or the space on our keyboard. So if, okay, we go. So if our place meeting, so this code place meeting, it means that there are two objects colliding in each other. So this one means that we are talking about the character object. So if our character is actually getting a collision onto the object wall, this should happen. Okay? So x plus, okay, x, y plus 1. Okay? And we have here obj wall. Yeah. Okay, so it identifies, it's just asking, hey, is there a wall underneath me? Because the code insists to check if the character has a wall below him. That's why +1, right? So +1 means underneath. It's checking. If there is a wall below it, here's what will happen. We will stop. Okay? So the vertical speed is equals to key underscore jump multiplied by minus jump speed. Remember, if we are not pressing, sorry, P jump, if we are not pressing the keyboard space, that means that the value is 0. But if we do press it, it will jump. So it's asking if there is a wall below me, I could actually jump. But if not, then it just will just not move. Okay, that's what it's doing. Okay, so we have here a horizontal collision code. So this identifies, same thing with the place meeting, if we do have a wall below us or in front of us or in our back, because it's horizontal. Okay, so let's go ahead and code this one. So horizontal collision, if place underscore meeting, okay, x plus HSP, y obj wall, okay, so this is where we get it, obj wall. So it's asking, is there a wall in front of me or in my side? Because it would depend, because you're trying to press your horizontal speed and it checks both ways. It could be on the front and it could be on the back, because it would depend on what you are pressing, because it will only check if you are on the negative side or the positive side. So that's how they do it. So while, okay, so if we identified that there is no wall, okay, if there is no wall, so no matter what the sign is, yeah, why, there's an obj wall, then here is what we're gonna be doing. Let's put it inside. X plus equal sign HSP. But if you're not meeting, okay, if we are seeing a wall in front of us or in our backside, our HSP will always be 0. And after that, we assign our HSP to our X value. Okay, as you can see, the HSP value changes depending on if there is a collision or not. If there is a collision, okay, then the HSP goes 0. But if there is no collision, which is the HSP gets the value here, then the X gets this, right? So that is how it goes. So let me go ahead and take the vertical collision. And we actually have almost the same codes, but we are talking about the Y of our signs. So we will be putting in differently. So I will be removing this code. So take a look on your codes. Be sure to check it. Y plus sign. And then vertical speed. plus BSP. So I'm just changing a few codes that we do have so that we could get this correctly. So we have here BSP. So basically, we are just converting it into the vertical version of the collision. So let me go ahead and check if you added correctly. Place meeting, OBJ, okay. I guess we get it right. Okay, so I think this is fine now. What does it say? It's expecting, okay, sorry. I lock and also this one. Okay, so check your codes as well. So we have here a vertical version and a horizontal version. So remember, our character will be moving down if it does not see any wall. So let's go ahead and try this one. OBJ wall, OBJ wall. Let me see. Stop the current and run again. Okay. Stop. Did I add it here? So step BSP. BSP X sign. Okay. Let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and check this if this is working. Okay, so I had a problem with one of my codes, so I checked it and I was not able to use check pressed. And also I needed to change this to BSP because earlier it was only on horizontal speed, so that was not working and the program was acting up, so I needed to change that. So this is the complete code that we do have for jumping. Let me go ahead and play this one for you guys. And there we go. So we do have a collision. As you can see, we are not able to move against the bricks. We are able to make our let's call this our character jump, but we all need to make it across. So I'll go ahead and change the speed, the jump speed to 10, maybe, or 8. Let's go ahead and change this to 8. Stop. And then let's play it again. Let's see if it will work now. There we go. So we just added a few jump speed so that our character could actually jump much more higher. Now remember, if we want him to jump more and move faster, you could actually change the speed of your character in your settings or your initialization of the values. And I think that's going to be it. So that's the first part. So right now, if I do jump across, it will be able to go through it. It will be wise to add some walls here. Okay. So the next thing that we will be doing on our next video will be, we will be adding some enemies and we will allow it to automatically move. So we will try to automate some enemies. So again, this is Sir Arca, and if you like this video, do not forget to like and subscribe, and you can share it. You can comment your questions on our comment section if you do have one. I'll be continuing these discussions up until we create a simple game or some of the parts of a game that you could add in, or some elements you could add in on your game. So right now we already have a 2D platformer jump function for our game. Okay, so I think that's it. So again, this is Sir Arca, and thank you very much.